Everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. It's your boy Abraham Heisler up in this piece and trying something new. We got a whiteboard, freaking whiteboard. Like we're moving on up in the world. I mean, it was one thing to get a Tesla last year, but I feel more excited about the whiteboard. That's a joke. Let me know if you can hear me. We're also trying a new thing with the microphone. So Soraya, let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, that's a problem. Yeah, what's up, guys? How you guys feeling? Today, we're going to be talking about fasting, intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. I've put up some comments and questions in the group over the last week. A lot of people have been engaging, and so I would love to take the opportunity today to share with you guys my experience with fasting over the last 20 years. Now, I haven't been fasting for 20 years. I have intermittently done prolonged fasting throughout those 20 years, which means that every month, for the majority of that time, twice a month, and one for 1 year, 4 times a month, I was doing 36-hour fast, which means that I would eat dinner on a Tuesday, go to sleep on a Wednesday, wake up on a Wednesday, not eat for the entire Wednesday, go to sleep, wake up on Thursday, and break my fast Thursday morning. All right? Why would I do something so crazy as that? Well, that's what I'm going to take today to tell you about. So Soraya's tagging a few people. Let me just wait a second, make sure that everything is set up properly, and then we're going to hop on into this live training. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay. Drop a comment or a question, and I will definitely circle back and try to answer your questions. All right, so, and if you are watching live, I believe we don't have anybody live just yet. Okay, so we're still tagging people. I'm gonna give it another minute, and then we're gonna hop on into it. Go ahead and fast forward if you're watching this to about another minute in, and we will get started. All right. Awesome. All right, guys, let's hop on into it and let's do this thing. So why are we talking about fasting? Well, this is the self-optimization for entrepreneurs, internal leverage, our mind, our body, our spirit, our most precious, most available resources that we have to leverage towards our success in life and business. So obviously, body is a huge part of that. And fasting actually covers not just the body, it's predominantly the body, but also the mind. There's a lot of willpower that goes into fasting, resisting the Dunkin' Donuts and being able to to go through an entire day without eating. But actually, like most things, once you get past the momentum, you'll find, well, what I've found is that it's actually harder to break my fast. There's times where I'll do an entire day of fasting and I just want to keep going. And sometimes I have. Sometimes I've fasted for multiple days, 2, 3, longer. All right, so let's talk about fasting. First of all, why fast? What are the benefits of fasting? When we're brought up as kids, we think that, you know, we need to eat food to survive. And if you skip a meal, it's like you're going to go crazy. I know I've had that at certain points, especially at times in my life where I'm working out and exercising quite frequently. I'll feel like if I skip a meal, it's death. It's sudden death. That's not the case. So surprise, surprise, the human body can last, I mean, it's months, actually. There's people who go months without eating. I mean, the yogis in the Himalayas, you know, they can go years without eating. That's a whole different training. So fasting, the thing that's so important and beneficial about fasting, let me start using this whiteboard here, is that fasting allows the body to do this one thing: detox. All right? And the way this works, and I'll just say, for the purpose of the entire training, I've done this for the last 20 years, so I can speak on my experience. I've trained with people who've really gone deep into fasting and study this. I'm not the expert. I can only talk from my experience, but I can point you in the right direction. What I have learned is that the stomach has 2 functions. All right. The first function is the breaking down of food. So whatever we put into our body, it's digesting. It's breaking down that food and absorbing the nutrients, right? Breaking down the nutrients. The other is that it's detoxing. It's getting out all of those toxins from the body and eliminating them, putting them into the elimination system. Now, here's the funny thing. The stomach can't do two things at one time. When it's breaking down food, it breaks down food. When it's detoxing, it's detoxing. Now, here's the issue. If we're constantly feeding ourselves, if we're constantly putting food in the system, it's not going to have enough time to do its job, detoxing. And so what ends up happening is that we build these toxins up in our body, and these, you know, when they go unchecked for a long period of time, these toxins turn to disease, ailment, sluggish energy, everything from headaches and stomach aches and things like that to the extreme end of the spectrum. It can turn into diabetes, it can turn into life-threatening diseases, cancer, so on and so forth, right? So fasting has been prescribed throughout the years, right, throughout all of history, and more so it's getting more popular more recently as a preventative measure, as a sort of general housekeeping for our body in order to keep it healthy, in order to keep it in a continual state of renewal. I know Ivy posted that she does fasting, and for her it's like car details, like taking the car in to get it clean, right? And that's the way I look at it when I do my fasting. It's kind of like spring cleaning. So regular fasting, having some sort of regiment where you're not eating and you're allowing your body to digest food and to then detox that food is super important. And there's multiple ways of breaking down your fasting. I mean, there's some people who just eat from certain times a day and then that's it. My practice of fasting was prescribed to me by my yoga community and my yoga teacher when I was 19. And what that is it's an entire day. It's basically, it's the day and then the morning after I break the fast. So it turns out it comes to about 36 hours, which is not an intermittent fast, it's a prolonged fast. And it's no food and no water. So it's actually dry fasting. Now, I'll be honest, that shit is kind of hard. All right, dry fasting is real. And if you're watching this, go ahead and drop a comment, drop a like, show some love. I love engagement, interaction. If you are watching live, go ahead and hashtag live. We got a comment saying, I'm at 38,000 feet en route to Man on Fire, Newport Beach. Awesome, John. Yeah, Man on Fire, that's what's up on the plane. He's watching us on the plane. Nuno's tuning in. What's up, Nuno? Nuno, do you do fasting? Nuno's super into health and fitness and whatnot. And yeah, I think a lot of people that are getting into fitness are really, they're understanding and studying more the topic of fasting and detox, because obviously this is how you optimize your body, right? So the type of fasting that I have done, honest, full transparency, I'm no longer doing the dry fasting. It's a little bit too raw dog for me, but I did it for many, many, many years. And there was a point in my life, there was an actual time where I was living with monks, practicing the lifestyle of monks, and I was fasting 4 days out of the month. I was like this. I looked like a twig. It felt like every other day I was fasting. And, I mean, one thing that happens when you fast, aside from the physical benefits, which is weight loss, which is preventative health, which is regeneration of tissue and cells and so on and so forth, and the detoxification that happens with the fasting, one of the other things is that the mind becomes very clear. All right. So one, it frees up a lot of time in your day because, normally you're making meals or trying to, or eating or like walking to get food or whatever. So all of a sudden you have more time in your day. And an interesting thing that happens is it gets you out of your routine. So we all have these neural pathways, right? That, you wake up and I have this routine and I know I got to do this and I do this and that. And it's like your body, your mind, you're constantly in this routine day in, day out. And I think like 90% of the thoughts that you think are the same thoughts that you had yesterday. So we're in these loops. And what can often happen, I know I've experienced, is that I'll get stuck in a rut, right? I'll get, when I was in film, I'd get writer's block, or as an entrepreneur, maybe I'll get stuck in a certain like pattern where, I'm not figuring out what the solution is to grow my audience or to do this or to do that. When I fast, and the reason why people throughout history have used fasting as a way to commune with something higher is because it breaks that routine. Mentally, it breaks you out of the neural pathways that you're used to and exposes you, opens you up to all of a sudden some new inspiration, some new insight. Now, in my own experience, it can happen while you're fasting. My experience is that my body's detoxing when I'm fasting, and usually when I fast, I'm not as sharp. So when I have like a lot of things I got to do in a day, or I got to do some coaching calls or sales calls, I tend not to fast those days because I find my mind is a little sluggish. However, when I break my fast, the day after, I'm like Superman. In fact, the very first time I experienced the effects of fasting to the full extent, I was about 20, and I broke my fast. And there's a certain way you got to break your fast that I'm going to describe to you in a moment that allows you to really make the most out of this detox. I broke my fast, and the day after, I woke up, and it's like, out of 20 years of living life, I had never felt anything like the way I was feeling in that moment. It was literally a whole new sensation. My body was light. It was tingling. I was clear minded. I was focused. I had more energy. Things were like radiant. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't freaking believe it. I was sold. And I guarantee if you can get to that point where you experience the fast, you do it properly, as I'm going to describe in a moment, and you break it and you have that clearing, that cleansing, you're going to have that experience of this clear-headedness, this focus, where ideas can come to you more readily, inspiration is there, you're starting to see new things because you've broken out of those stuck neural pathways that occur when you're in a consistent routine again and again and again. All right, so let me break and see if anybody is typing. Again, if you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're checking the replay, hashtag replay. If you got any thoughts, comments, questions, or insults, you can post them. Maybe hold off on the insults, but you can DM the insults. So, all right, guys, the benefits of fasting are many on the physical, on the mental. Spiritually, fasting has been used for centuries as a way to leave the mundane reality and commune with a higher power. Now I want to talk to you about, so Jim asked the question, what's life like with a 36-hour fast every month versus without? Well, I'll tell you this. My body asks for fasting. I've been doing it for 20 years. So when I go a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks without fasting, eventually my body is just going to be like, I'm not hungry. Like, I don't want food. I'm good. Like, I don't need food, right? I need a break. My body asks for it. And I've done this work to the point that I am in tune with my body. And I listen to my body. So when it's time, so originally I was fasting according to the moon cycles, because that's another fascinating piece of science, that the moon has a gravitational pull on the earth. As we know, the tides rise and fall. And at various times of the month, the moon has a certain gravitational pull on our minds and our bodies. There's some sort of, the science, I don't know exactly about that, how to describe it, but there's a pull on on the water in our body and our cells in such a way that it creates some effect in our neurology. And that's why once a month when there's a full moon, there's people go crazy, right? There's that myth, that legend. And the word lunatic, right, someone who's crazy, comes from la luna, which means the moon in Spanish and Latin, right? So we know that the moon has certain pulls on our moods and it affects us in a certain way. And so what the yogis do is they fast at certain times according to the moon so that the moon doesn't have that crazy effect and that we have more control and agency and we can decide, with a little bit more rationality what kind of mood we want to be in, rather than just being at the whim of the natural elements. I am not personally following the moon cycle that much these days. I'm following my body, and when my body feels like fasting, I'll make the time and space to fast. So life with fasting is what I can say is, again, it's self-optimization, and it enables me to really show up and perform in my body at the highest potential. In other words, I'm able to control my body fat, because fasting is also a great way to control weight loss, right? I'm able to eliminate toxins from my body, feel clean, feel healthy, and really make the most of the nutrient foods that I am eating because I'm putting it into a clean system. Now, what's really important is how you break your fast, how you do your fast, how you go into it and how you leave your fast. Because it's not enough just to stop eating and then all of a sudden, run to Dunkin' Donuts and stuff your face, because you're going to lose the benefits of the detox. I got this whiteboard and I'm barely using it, so I got to try to use it a little bit more here. So what I want to do is I want to describe how you get into a fast. So just jumping into a fast, going like raw dog, cold turkey, and being like, yo, Abe, I'm so inspired, I'm just going to try it, is a little tough. So I want to give you some options to ease into fasting. Let me just check the comments, saying sometimes, and we'll do more in the next months, meaning he'll try fasting more. Go ahead and hashtag live if you're watching live and drop a comment below. Soraya is asking, what about the juice fast? That's what we're about to talk about right about now. All right. So when I got into fasting, I was 19 and, punk teenager coming from New York City. And I had this yogi telling me, you got to fast twice a month. And I'm like, fuck you talking about? And I wanted to try it. So I started off by reducing food. So the first fast I did was just eating fruit for an entire day. And that's it, just fruit. Okay, that worked. I did that. The next time I tried just fruit juice, right? Just vegetable fruit juice, right? Okay, that was fine. From that point, I was able to try water. Just what's it like just to be on water all day long? And then finally, I would, do that every 2 weeks, fruit every 2 weeks, juice every 2 weeks, water every 2 weeks. And after a few months, I was able to do the dry fast. Now, again, it's, it's intense. I find when I dry fast, I'm not able to think as clearly until the day after when I break my fast. So you want to time it at a time that's right for you. Maybe you don't have such an intense workload. So juice fast is also good, but you get more benefit from the dry fast because no food, no water really enables you to do that full-on detox and really get the most out of the fast, okay? Now, here's the important thing. A lot of people in my yoga community are like, oh, I'm fasting tomorrow, so I got to eat so much food tonight. No, because that's going to throw your body out of whack. When I fast, I try to eat less and less and less. And then even the night before, maybe I'll just have a soup or some rice or, just something very simple so that when I go into the fast, my stomach isn't like crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the day after Thanksgiving. So what I do is I go into it eating light. Now, the most important thing that I want you to get out of all of this is how you break the fast, all right? So you do your fast, 24 hours, 36 hours, whatever it is. Don't just start eating food. What you got to do is you got to break your fast with 3 things. First, you're going to need salt. Yeah, this is going to get real. You're going to need water. And then lastly, you're going to need magic ingredient, lemon or lime. I can't really see that so well. But salt, water, lemon, or lime. When I break my fast, I prepare like a huge thing of water. I put lemon and I put as much salt as I possibly can take without me right? And what that does, when you drink that, if you drink like a couple of liters of that, salt water and lemon, what's going to happen is that you're going to experience a purge effect. It's basically like doing an enema, right? You're going to drink that and the lemon's going to start to open up your system, open up your stomach, and it's going to push all those toxins out of the body. So those basically during the fast, what the stomach is doing is drawing the toxins out. And you can feel that because you feel nauseous, you feel sick. A lot of people feel sick when they fast. It's because these toxins are coming out. And just eating food is just going to push them back into the body. So what we want to do is we want to draw those toxins out and get them out of the system. So the salt, the lemon water purges it out of the system. And you'll know because within 10 minutes you're running to the toilet. And then you're running to the toilet and you have essentially diarrhea. It's like a self-imposed diarrhea for like a half an hour, where you're just constantly going to the bathroom and you're getting it all out. Now, I know it's getting a little bit, but on the real, this is how you clean your body. This is how you purge your system, all right? And this is what's gonna allow you to have that clear focus, clear mind, and optimized body, all right? So it's worth it to go there, all right? So you wanna clear it out to the point where the only thing coming out is just crystal clear water, okay? That's, in that way, you know that you're purging everything from your body. Now, after you do that, after you do the salt, lemon, and water break, what you want to take is banana. Banana is a great source of, it's a natural sugar, it has potassium for your body, and it also helps to clog or put the plug in after you take this diuretic, right? After you take this thing to purge your system, the banana is a great way to kind of seal things up. The other thing, I don't know if this is true, but the banana, when I eat a banana after fasting, I don't chew it. I take like bite-sized chunks and just swallow it whole. I was told to do that. Somebody said that it helps to draw out the toxins kind of like a sponge in order to get them out the body. That may be true, maybe not, I don't know. But what I find is that banana kind of helps to put a stop on this like running to the toilet so that I can move on with my life, my day. Now, for breakfast, you don't want to, again, no Dunkin' Donuts. You want to start small, right? Maybe just some fruit. Soak some almonds overnight and just have that, right? Just go easy. Ease on into it. Have a salad, you know, have a soup for lunch. You know, you don't want to run and just hit a T-bone steak all of a sudden. Like your body just went through this. It's like you're going to feel like a newborn baby. Breaking your fast, you're going to feel good, but the best day is the day after you break your fast. So if I fast on a Tuesday, I break on a Wednesday, my Thursdays that's my birthday. All right. I'm getting up out of bed. I don't have to sleep as much. I'm just like jumping out of bed and walking down the street like I'm Shaft, right? It's like, I got this. All right. You do this at least once a month, I guarantee you're going to have a whole new relationship with your physical body. Guarantee you. Absolutely amazing. Benefits, again, clear-headedness, more focus, more energy, less sleep required, because when you go to sleep, your body is able to restore and regenerate itself, and you don't struggle with sleep as much. I mean, basically, you name it, right? It's preventative health. Prevents diabetes, cancer, skin diseases, all types of stuff. I have good friends of mine that run wellness centers all around the world, and they treat people with all sorts of crazy stuff. People are coming to them. Western medicine is not working. They have all sorts of disorders and stuff going on with their system. They get them on a regimen. They get them doing prolonged fasting and really detoxing, getting those toxins out of the body and healing themselves, curing themselves in a very natural way. So if this is resonating with you, if this is making sense, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you're getting from this. If you have any questions about this, feel free to drop it below. Let's see if there's any comments here. Soraya is saying, how is your meditation during the fast period? Do you feel a difference? Can you do it properly? That's a great question. Soraya, as you know, when I am fasting, this is work. That being said, there are days when I fast and like I just feel good. I feel great and I forget that I'm fasting. Like I'm going to the closet to eat some food. I'm like, oh, I'm fasting. I forgot, right? So no, there are days, like even when I was younger, I used to break dance while I was fasting. Dry fasting, no water, no food. And I was like break dancing, spinning on my head. These days, there are times, and sorry, as you know, the last time I fasted, it was a little bit heavy. Like I wasn't able to focus. I wasn't able to meditate on the day of the fast. Afterwards, I felt great and it was worth it, right? But it takes some willpower. It takes some mental energy and some stamina. I mean, this is work, right? You have to this is why this is not a quick fix. It's not a pill. It's not let me just go to a doctor and say, fix it, right? This is like me working on myself, on my body, on my health. It's like going to the gym, right? All right. Other comments, less nightmares. Yes. Awesome. Cool. All right, guys, I highly recommend fasting if you want to be an elite entrepreneur, if you want to just have a healthy healthy lifestyle, and you want to have the benefits that I named before, then give this a go. Give yourself a fast. Try it. You might want to try it just for a little bit at first. The last thing I'll say is somebody asked the question about what if you're low blood sugar? I wouldn't focus on the sugars. Again, I'm not an authority on this, so you have to check in with your physician, you have to check in with your doctor if you have any serious health questions. But one other thing that might help you is to do a bulletproof coffee in the morning. So you take a bulletproof coffee, you mix in some ghee, the fats will help prolong your energies. I know that when I take a bulletproof coffee, I don't get hungry. Right? My blood sugar doesn't drop because I have these healthy fats going on in my system, and then fast for the rest of the day. All right, so that's one thing that you can try. So it's not an official, it's kind of like a crutch fast, all right? Fasting with help. The other thing, lastly, and this is it, I'm gonna end it. If you're struggling with fasting, if you wanna do a liquid fast, and so dry fasting's too much, you're doing a water fast, but you still, you're super low energy, you're missing electrolytes. So what you can try is taking some coconut water. And I wouldn't get the crappy stuff, like get a coconut or get like the real Harmless Harvest or whatever it's called. The real stuff, right? That it tastes good, and coconut water is very high in electrolytes. And what I've found is that when I do a water fast and then I mix in some coconut water, my energy levels are super high. I'm able to do what I need to do, show up and perform. So try that, give it a go. Let us know how it goes. Let me know if this is helpful for you. Because, for a long time I was teaching sales. I was helping entrepreneurs make a shit ton of money. And we never talked about all this stuff. I've been doing this for 20 years of my life. Why not? Let's incorporate this stuff, and let's really maximize the mind, the body, the spirit for success in life and business. So if this is helpful for you, if you want more trainings like this, I got 20 years of experience that we can tap into in order to serve you. I know it will, but I want to make sure there's an audience for it. So please let me know, give me some feedback. And then likewise, if you have any questions about anything related to this, then go ahead and drop it here or personally message me. All right, guys, hope you guys are well. No more comments, so I'm going to end it here. Nice half-an-hour training with a whiteboard and a microphone. And yeah, guys, hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Go eat some food, and I'll see you soon. Peace.